people know, with the communication that we had, some people are coming from, dev support, some are coming from basic actual development, and some are using other modules of ServiceNow. So initially, to start with the history of ServiceNow, basically, it started as a ticketing tool. Uh, we had other ticketing tools also in the market, but ServiceNow came into picture in 2004. Uh, Previously, we had some other, like, you people must have heard about a very strong tool. It is BMC Remedy, and there were other tools to name. Some of them were IBM Tivoli, which was also a ticketing tool where people used to create some tickets and get the tickets resolved and everything. And then there was another tool coming from Micro Focus, which is now taken over by HP. Uh, it was a very renowned tool, which was ServiceNow, Service Manager, basically. So all these things, all these tools that are there in the market, some of them are paid, some of them are actually free. Free, by free means they're coming with the less features, but some of them coming with a whole lot of features. And so bundling all of these tools together, and the functionality that some might be lacking, some might be having more of them, grabbing everything. So ServiceNow started its days with a ticketing tool, but in enhancing its capabilities and coming up with different modules, ServiceNow actually took over the market, and is literally the go-to solution for every requirement that an industry or an organization might have. So even if something is budding up as a new requirement, they're trying to implement and launch a new module for that. So that is a really good thing. So people or organization do not have to see outside ServiceNow whatever they want to implement. So yeah, it started as a ticketing tool, but right now it is a very big, what do you say, plethora of other things, uh, other modules that you can actually implement, be it banking module, be it other basic ITSM modules where people create incidents, problem, and change, be it any kind of predictive intelligence modules, uh, data analytics, everything comes up. And right now the latest implementation is they have integrated Gen AI into this, um, which is going to be very fantastic. So what we will learn in this particular course is we'll start from the very scratch. We'll learn about ServiceNow. We'll learn about how do we do little configurations, and how do we actually implement tweaks the modules, and how we actually can create our own application inside ServiceNow, how we can create SLAs, how we can create alerts, what things are required by the organization. Or let's say an organization comes up with a plan, okay, we want to implement this particular application, or we want to create this particular utility for our customers that can use. So we can also create those utilities inside ServiceNow. The main thing that I want to convey right now is prerequisite. It is not mandatorily required, but it is a very good to have thing if you have a little knowledge of JavaScript. People who are coming from IT or developer background, mm, a little knowledge of JavaScript is mandatory. Uh, we will cover some of the concepts in this particular course also. Uh, but yeah, JavaScript being a whole programming language, it would be a great idea to uh, prepare beforehand, because yeah, it includes some of the scripting inside ServiceNow. There are alternatives. If you don't want to write a script, you can go into the configuration way, tweaking, using the settings and other things to implement that thing. But the fundamental logic to write any of the configuration or to use any of the configuration comes from what it is doing on the front end or on the back end, utilizing the scripts, utilizing the ServiceNow scripts. So we can do that. We can do that later on. So coming to what we're going to cover in this is basically an overview of ServiceNow, the concept of cloud computing, and other things. Let's say you people must be aware that as an employee of an organization, let's say, for example, you joined one particular company, let's say you've joined TCS, and TCS gives you a laptop to work, work from home scenario. So you've received your laptop and you started working. After a few days, you've figured it out that your keyboard is not responding very uh, correctly, or it has gone bad. So there are some of the ways. Initially, in our previous days, we tend to uh, go to our IT admin when we were there in office, and we would tend to go there. But it's not a good idea to actually go to them and say, okay, my laptop is not working. They will there is a possibility that they will say, I'm working on something else, please come after some time, or I'm still working on something, and you will be just going to and fro from one place to another, and so you will not get your issue rectified. S- and there are some other things that, let's say your company provided laptop, you're not going to office and it goes bad, let's say keyboard or the screen is not working properly, you cannot go to the market, outside market, and get it repaired, because it contains, uh, first of all, it is a company asset, and second, it contains a lot of confidential data which the company would definitely not want to lose, or get leaked out in public. So they have their vendors that are associated with the particular asset that have been provided. So the warranty will be covered by those particular vendors only. So if you go outside the market and get it repaired, it will first of all void the warranty, and the second thing, the major thing, it will be a security constraint. So it will be a security issue for everyone involved in that particular event. So for this, initially we had our ticketing tools, early age ticketing tools coming from, let's say, we people tend to use in-house developed ticketing tools, and we still had others in the market. What I have given the example of BMC, Remedy, and other tools that companies tend to use in at the time of 2006, 7, and 8. So yeah, that's a good thing. What ServiceNow is helping is, they tend to, ServiceNow allows you to create a particular ticket for your particular issue. Let's say you created one particular ticket that my keyboard is not working. That ticket will get assigned to, you know, the correct team that will be taking care of. Let's say there is a laptop repairman team, and that team will be assigned to that particular ticket, and a person from that team will be assigned to do that particular job. So you will get the whole idea. Okay, I am sitting here, I've just raised a ticket, and then I can submit this particular asset at this particular date and time, and they will do the repair, and I will get at this particular datum. So it takes a lot of things. It involves the urgency and the impact, how urgent the particular issue is for you, or how impactful it is for you, or you're not able to deliver the client deliverables. All these things act together and create a priority for the ticket. Let's say it is a P1, or it's a very critical thing. Let's say you're impacted and you're not not able to deliver your client deliverables, so that thing will create a P1 incident, and you've created, so everything that is a critical or P1 will be taken care at first, and will have to be resolved within a particular time frame, whatever the company has built up. Let's say it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour. So that's how the ticketing system works inside ServiceNow. And there are other things that are also there in it. Different modules. We have problem, we have changed. These are all ITSM modules, and we have some other modules also that we will take an overview of. And coming to the concept of cloud computing, yes, ServiceNow is completely deployed on cloud. So you don't need to install a hardware infrastructure for this. You don't need to install the databases. You don't need to install the application servers for them. In our initial days, when I was there, so we were deploying some of the tools. Let's say we had one tool. That tool had to had its infrastructure right there in front of our eyes. So there was a database we could literally see and touch. which is running. There was an application server, there was a web server that was implemented, and everything all together working together creates one particular application that we tend to launch on a particular domain, and that domain was supposed to be used by people. But using the cloud computing concepts, it is completely hosted on cloud. And people, they don't have to care about whatever, whether we have to maintain our database, or we're running out of storage, or we'll have to take backups or everything. Everything is taken care by ServiceNow, because they are providing the cloud capabilities. So everything is they're taken care by ServiceNow, because it is hosted on cloud. You don't have Administrators don't have to you know focus on taking backups, and don't have to focus on uh, load balancing. By load balancing, what do I mean is, let's say at one particular time there is a whole lot of traffic on particular website. Let's say you are working with your ticketing tool, and your ticketing tool tend to be very much used between 9 to 5 p.m., 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and after that it is not used so much, only few tickets comes. So to cater that particular traffic, and not getting stuck in a situation where the server actually breaks down, or things get slowed down, we tend to use load balancing when we were working in actual hardware infrastructure. So everything is taken care by ServiceNow. They have provided the load balancing capabilities, the performance capabilities, the backup capabilities, and everything. And the one model that they're sticking with is high availability. Your system will not be turned off at any time. You can access it anytime. It will not be not available. It will always be available. Uh, but in our previous applications that were hosted on physical infrastructure, they tend to go bad, or they tend to go unavailable, because sometimes the server got switched off or got restart. Sometimes the database was not accessible, and these things. So it was very impactful for the end users. So coming to this, service now comes with a lot of capabilities. So the next thing is, why ServiceNow? ServiceNow, this is a slide that I've copied from their official website. Basically, it gives you a lot of benefits. First of all, you can deliver whatever the customer is requiring, and whatever it is beneficial for their particular growth. And the employees, it increased the productivity of the employees. Let's say previously, one person was waiting for one thing to be completed, and he was waiting on another person to, okay, your particular asset is coming and getting repaired, and please wait. So everyone was actually waiting, and it was a whole lot of waste of time. And it utilizes the latest technology and digitizes the business process. You can actually create applications which your particular business gives you. You can see the workflows, you can create the workflows, you can modify the workflows. What will happen on click of this button? What will happen next on click of this thing? What integration it will trigger, or what form behavior it will give you, or uh, when this particular thing is clicked, okay, it will stop the SLA, it will pause the SLA. And if you click on this particular button, it will trigger an email notification to the client, okay, your ticket has been resolved, or these kind of things. You can actually configure, you can implement these things. And yeah, all these things, like transforming the business critical operations, uh, and achieving operational excellence. So these things are all theoretical. We can come up later. uh, Currently we all are interested in to actually see the whole new platform and start working on it, make our hands dirty. But to give them a little overview, ServiceNow, basically these are the versions of ServiceNow. Let me know if you can see the whole screen. And this versions is not uh, okay, it is now completely visible. So ServiceNow releases its new versions every quarter. So it tends to name these versions in alphabetical order. Currently, it is going on with alphabetical orders that are the names of the big major cities of these countries. Let's say the first one was in January 2018. It came up with London, then Madrid, New York, then Orlando, and the current version that we are on right now is this guy, Washington. And in our project also, we literally upgraded from Vancouver to Washington release. So these are the versions that ServiceNow is following right now, and the previous versions that ServiceNow was following, you can see, I will show you, is these versions. It started in 2004. They named it summer 2008, then winter 2009, and all these things. Then they started with these naming conventions of major cities in alphabetical orders. And these were the versions: Aspen, Berlin, Calgary, and all these things. And currently we are up here in Washington release. After Vancouver, we are in Washington. So the good thing about ServiceNow is, one major good thing is its community. Whatever you have, you can actually look at the community, and um, you can, whatever the questions you have, you can post them in community, and you can get the answers. Let's say you are developing something and you got a problem with your particular code. So you can log into the community, post your question, and someone can actually see it and reply to you with a particular answer. So